Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 35 of the Redseapodcast. And to whoever is watching this live, good morning as well, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are from. Kalimera, Kalimera. Early one today, once again, early calm one to try and forget what happened yesterday in basketball and focus on the huge positive victory that we saw in the Europa League. Uh, do forgive me if my connection is a bit shaky today. They are uh, fixing some lines, so it may be a bit choppy. We'll see. I hope not. But yeah, let me get into the typical stuff before we focus on the football. Of course, if you like what you see, there is a huge backlog of episodes for you to go check out, both on YouTube, right here, and on Spotify. Uh, um, and there is a lot of stuff coming as well. Episodes on Spotify usually go up a couple of hours after, maybe even sooner if Spotify decides to work with me and not against me. Do like, of course, as always, and do leave reviews on Spotify if you are listening to this on Spotify. Leave a review of whatever you believe. It helps the show being pushed out way more than you may actually think. The show is always, of course, on Insta and on Twitter with articles being posted, updates, massive interaction as I try and respond to everyone and anyone, and in general, as much as humanly possible, all you may need Olympiacos, and sometimes even generally Greek football. The show is also on TikTok, where mostly shorts will be going up, just like the shorts going up here. And now the show has a Patreon, which is now in the description. I remembered a separate announcement video will be going up at some point, but of course, for whoever is either new or hasn't heard the previous episodes, the Patreon will be used as a mean to upgrade the show. For example, get a pro subscription on StreamYard, pick up a mic after a while and stuff like that, and nothing else. So if you feel like checking that out, I am still working on what to have as rewards, as Patreon calls it, because I want to give back to everyone as much as possible, especially those who decide to support me even more in this insane thing that I'm doing. Uh, so yeah, that will keep getting updated, and I will update you all accordingly. So, um, let's slowly get into the football now that I got the boring stuff out of the way. Oh, and also, somewhere in the comments, wherever the comments are for you guys, the link to the show, especially until Gav is back from his well deserved trip in Europe, will be down so you can copy it and join me whenever you feel like. I'm open to absolutely anyone coming on the show. I have no problems at all. If you want to state a question, a comment, an opinion, or anything on whatever each episode is talking about, or even in general, you're free to come on whenever you want to. And of course, do leave questions in the comments or wherever you feel like, wherever you're listening. I'm pretty sure even Spotify has a comment feature, even though I'm not that familiar with Spotify as I am with YouTube. Um, but that's about it. Yeah, I think. Now let's get into that absolutely heart-cleansing victory that was Malmö Olympiacos 0-1. Of course, with Ayub incredible finish, but can't ignore even in the slightest Zelson's steal, run, and assist. Zelson's whole just streak of amazing actions down the wing that did lead to El Gabi's goal. But aside the many positives, there is also a lot of general points being left from that game, at least in my opinion. The lineup, of course, was Zolakis under the sticks, as always. I'm gonna get to that. Costinha, Rechos, Carmo, and Ortega, who, if anyone hasn't seen, Ortega is estimated to be out around 3-4 weeks, which, if I'm not completely miscounting, does fall into the national break. So that's a positive that he will get a bit more time to recover. But with how hard our schedule is coming up, it's a worrying injury, nonetheless. Especially with the lack of depth we have at left back. What happened with Pirola? Um, the last thing I did hear is that just he just suffered a knock and should be back, if not tomorrow, for the cup. I really haven't heard absolutely anything else. I don't think anything else has even come out for Lorenzo Pirola. Of course, Moza and Santiago Ese are the normal duo in the middle at this point, with Rodney Chiquinho and Zelson Martins and Ayub El Kabi up front. Oh, that's an interesting take. Zelson as a wing back. I mean, do we need to? I'd still trust, uh, if not sending Costinha at left back, but still maybe go with Masura and just let Zelson do his thing up front. I don't think there is a need to quote unquote risk Zelson getting a left wing back position or just even play five at the back against someone like Asteras. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe we do play five at the back in general and Pirola just moves into a left center back. It's a dilemma. It really is, especially for the Rangers game coming up. Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm thinking of because I mostly thought league, and I'm like, Pirola can play left back in the league, or worst case, Apostolopoulos can play left back in the league. And there is Costinha. Yes, there is Costinha, especially for Europe. It's a dilemma. We certainly can go back to five at the back, uh, as we saw with Lyon, if I'm not completely mistaken. There are options, thankfully. There are options, thankfully. So we'll see. I can't really say what's better because we have five very different games coming up. So we'll see. Maybe we'll see a lot of variety now that Francisco Ortega is out. And of course, the subs were Pirola, who did come in for the injured Ortega and got subbed out, giving his place to Danny Garcia, injured himself, as mentioned. Babis Kostulas, who is getting more and more game time, and I'm so happy that he is, honestly. Giorgos Masouras coming in around the 85th, and Marcos Damenic coming in around the 86th. Bakulas getting completely left out, but honestly, in this game, it's one of the few games where I understand why he maybe didn't wanna risk it. And another player getting left out once again fully is Sergio Oliveira and William. So that's something to keep in mind, especially with Sergio Oliveira and William, to see how and if they get used moving forward, because there have been some background talks that there will be another clear road like last year in January, so we'll see. And yeah, honestly, the game went as good as it possibly could. Let me actually check out the expected. Yeah, we did have 1.74 expected goals, and Malmö did have 1.42, which again shows very, very good defensive work against a team like Malmö. Uh, and honestly, the props I gave on a post, I'm pretty sure that was yesterday, and the props we all should really be giving is to the once again returning Panos Retsos. Panos Retsos, who not even since the final, since the Conference League semi-final against Aston Villa has been playing like a man possessed. Panos Retsos, who has been nothing less than absolutely admirable and incredible at the back, um, showing why he did truly deserve the armband without a single doubt, leaving everything on the pitch each and every single time. And once again, with Regis at the back, we keep a clean sheet. With Regis at the back, we've only conceded goals this year against Lyon. He's one of, if not our most important asset right now. And what that will lead to, again, we'll see. But he needs to get his props. It's the bare minimum for a player that's shared absolutely anything and everything. Yes, 26 years old, and he's playing with the mentality of a mature centre back that's played in a top five league for years, especially in Europe. He's been absolutely insane, and surely he's drawing uh, attention from scouters. Like, there's no way. Worst case scenario, even though I don't want this to happen again, but for Panos' sake, he may get a second chance in a big team out in Europe in the summer. So we'll see. Once again, something I am looking for at least. We weren't really threatened. Uh, Malmö had one big chance. Giolakis wasn't insanely threatened. And that again goes to the crazily good defense and us really not necessarily dominating possession, but playing the passing game we are used to more than good enough. It was one of our best handled games, plan wise as well, at least in my opinion. I know Retsos has a contract until 28, and that's why I don't want him to go. But if an offer comes in, a big offer comes in, and he does want to, you just can't say that he doesn't deserve a second chance if he does wish to accept any offer that may come in. And we do hold the bargain chip, as you said, with him having a long contract, if push comes to shove, of course. Another person that I do want to get some focus on is, of course, the man of the year, not the hour, and that's Christos Mouzakidis, who, again, Mouza was more on the quiet side of players against Malmö, but even when this kid has a quiet game, he's one of our most efficient players on the field, and he's just gelling so incredibly well with Santi Ese, who himself is very young. Santiago Ese is, I'm pretty sure Santiago is 22. Let me actually look that up. If my he's 23. He just turned 23. He just turned 23. Yes, 4 days ago. It's just an incredible feeling to finally see us utilizing perfectly not just our talent, but general talent that we bring in as well. Like, how long has it been since the base of the team has been just wonder kids? Because especially these two are wonder kids. There is no other more perfect word to describe these two. Yes, Musa, especially on the right, moving over and helping the Rodine and Costinha duo, is just nothing less than amazing. I don't think any one of us expected that one of the well, no, most of us did expect it, but I don't think any of us could predict that one of the golden generation guys would just slot in so easily in the starting 11 and do so well day in and day out. We're finally looking like a serious European club. As much as I don't believe I'm saying that after what happened even last weekend. But in the academy case, we're looking amazing. And I do believe that, of course, as I said, Kostulas is getting more and more game time. Bakulas is now in the squad, and it's just a matter of time until he gets the game time he deserves, probably even tomorrow. And with the cup coming up, it's a chance for all three of them to maybe even start. I don't think that's a wild shout for at least Mouzakidis and Kostoulas to get the start, or Bakulas and Kostoulas if he wants to give Mouzakidis a rest. Because once again, the hardest part in handling talent like that is not burning them out. Uh, and as we saw in the Youth League absolute demolition 5-0 victory, surely it's slowly gonna be Papacanelos' time as well. He's completely tearing up with the under-19s team. And surely we'll see him soon. And not just Papacanelos, there is a lot of people on their way up. And that's why I'm so hopeful for the future of this team. For once, because it's not only the players coming up, but we can't really forget Sotiris Lailopoulos, who, by my estimation at least, is gonna be Mendy's successor as he is learning from the man himself. And I think that for once, perhaps our best generation of talent coming through, at least in my lifetime, which of course hasn't been that long, but I can't really remember such a good bunch of talents coming through the Olympiacos Academy are in safe hands. Finally, are in safe hands. Who isn't in safe hands uh, is perhaps the only negative I can draw uh, from the whole positive atmosphere that is circling the football team after um, Thursday, and that's Christopher Welde. Christopher Welde, who I've said my opinion on, and I'll say it again. It drives me insane that he's in such a bad run of form. Again, as we've talked about before, we knew he'll struggle at some point. We knew he'd struggle with some matches. We knew he'd struggle against a certain type of team. But a player who had such a good preseason can't have just forgotten the football he showed us. I can't fathom it. Like with some players being left out, okay, you can think of a reason or two. But this just consistent, mediocre run of form for me is unexplainable. And he's one of the players that, for one reason or another, I'm refusing to completely write off. But you have to think that there has to be a match that kicks him off again, that gives him confidence again. And honestly, I can't think of a more perfect match than the cup game that's midweek against Califea. Surely that's a chance for him and some others to just get the ball rolling again. Perhaps I'm delusional. Hmm? I feel like he doesn't. I feel like he doesn't like having to fight for his place. Maybe. Maybe he's just used to be uh, a protected and guaranteed starter. Because at Poznan, he was the star. Like, there's no denying that. But this isn't Poznan. This isn't like, no disrespect, but this isn't like Poznan. This is a team that's coming off their most historic cup ever. And this is a team that's running and aiming for something bigger and demanding for something bigger. At the least, most part of it. Cough, cough. That's a story for a different day. I don't know. It's the same thing I said with a player like Philip in basketball. If you want to just have a guaranteed starting role in a lower team, then you can go. If this continues consistently until January, I'm okay with just fucking him off, just sending him maybe even back to Poznan. I'm just afraid it's gonna be another what's his name? Another Maria case, another BL case that we just keep loaning him and loaning him out, and we just can't sell him for a reason or another. Even though I'm pretty sure we are negotiating with Charlotte to just completely send Pep BL there for a good amount of money. But you get the point. There is no reason to stay if you don't want to stay. Because I'm sorry, as much as I like the guy, because I really, really do. He isn't deserving of a starting role in Olympiacos. I've said it from the start. I've said it with Gav as well. Christopher Velde, for me, is a super sub. For me, he performed amazing off the bench. But he just lacks the passion. For me, he just fully lacks the passion. Uh, we'll see what happens with time, I suppose. Just like we'll see what happens with time with, as I said, Sergio Oliveira and William. Another player that I want to give my flowers to that I did fully doubt is Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia, who did come in for 12 minutes and did do the dirty work he does amazingly. Danny Garcia may not be the fastest player out there, but he's the perfect tool to come in and just bring the game to the realm we need it to be bring. Danny Garcia is a player that's not afraid to throw his body in the defense. And Danny Garcia is a player that in that span of 10, 15 minutes or more in some lower league games can do the dirty work in the back that we need him to do. And I can respect that. I really, really can respect that. And I feel like he's being uh, underestimated, even by us. I feel like he's being a bit underestimated, and I fell in that category as well. But I do want to give him his props because while he doesn't do the fancy work, the work that shows, there is always someone that needs to do the dirty work in a team. A man that doesn't really seem to be doing much at all is Marko Stamenic. And that's a transfer that I believed in because Marko Stamenic in a Red Star was very good. And you can't hide it. Even the English said that he was incredible against the game. I can recall the game against Man City, and we all know how much it takes for the English media, the most biased media in Europe, to give you even a little bit of praise. I once again an unexplainable lack of form. Again, not everyone fits everywhere. We've seen that. We've seen that in every sport. We've seen that with a lot of transfers even coming to us and signing after they just completely, well, not flopped, but fully underperformed in a different team. Again, one that comes to mind is Luca Vildosa in basketball. But I don't know. He's just one of the players that, exactly. He's one of the players that I am glad that are on loan, and we should send him off in January. It is the best for all involved, as the comment says. Even semi disagree with the last part. It's not pointless being on loan and not playing a full 90, but it is pointless being on loan and playing 10. Like, if he played a half, if he played 50, 60, even in the league, if he played more in the league, I get it, but he's averaging like 10 minutes max. So it is pointless. It's pointless for us as well. And perhaps getting rid of loans like that will lead to opening the way for players like Bakulas, who for me can give 10 times what Stamenic does to the team. I think the least we can say is that it's gonna be a very long January once again. And it's gonna once again be a January that will either make or break our season in a lot of ways. Perhaps not as crucially as it did last year, but it's a January that can cover a lot of gaps that this squad and this plan did have. Another thing I want to move on to is a thing that went very unnoticed, and even I completely just missed it. If Ayub El Kabi did score that penalty, it have tied El Arabi's record for our European top scorer, which in 2 seasons of playing, not even two, 1.5 of playing is insane. This man has 19, if I'm not completely mistaken, it is 19 goals in Europe to El Arabi's 20. He's gonna be our European top scorer in a rapid amount of time. I can't really just fully fathom what El Kabir has done. El Kabir, that's a free transfer. If not a free transfer, we picked him up for scraps. Let me actually confirm what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure El Kabir was free transfer. Let me actually. Yes, he does have 19, I'm correct. And it's compared to the rest of the list games, it's minimal. He was a free transfer. Arguably, also, our best free transfer in the recent years. Yeah, it does say he was a free agent. I just didn't fully remember if we picked him up on a free or if it was like something in the realms of 500K from Qatar. I can't name a better performing, more record breaking free transfer that Olympiacos has made. Usually, free transfers are, with all due respect, useless or at best squad player. He's breaking record after record after record. He's the second top scorer in the Europa League. He's one away from the Porto guy. Don't remember. Need to look that up as well. He has 3. He would have been joint top scorer if he did score the penalty. Not only for us, but for the Europa League as well. I don't know why my brain is so just fully stuck. Yes. I'm sorry if I just completely butchered that, but Samo Mordion, the Spanish-Nigerian center forward from Porto, the youngster. He has one more than El Gabi. El Gabi is joint second with Agun from Galatasaray. At this point, if we do well, he may get the UEL Golden Boot. And that's not even a joke. I feel like El Gabi will. He has already, of course, with giving us our first European trophy, but I feel like we can't even begin to imagine what El Gabi will do until he leaves. And again, it's another what if, because what if we had this player when he was younger? Not that 31 is just an insane age, and I'm pretty sure with a 2-year contract, he will be 33 when it runs out, which compared to when Youssef El Arabi left is still very young, and I can only just pray we keep this man until the age that we kept El Arabi, and he keeps performing even similarly to what he does now. I feel like he'll make so much more history than we can even begin to understand. Another person that I do want to give my props to is Costeña, because Costeña has come in to the starting 11 seemingly out of nowhere, with Rodney out of nowhere as well, moving up as a right midfielder slash right winger. And he's just been consistently wonderful. He's been so solid at the back, even played left back against Malmö, and again was even amazing on his weak foot, and it once again proves that he has been a very good signing, and he is looking like the correct successor to Rodney, which is covering a problem that we've had for years, which is finding successors to our fullbacks, finding worthy successors to our fullbacks. I don't even want to begin to recite what we even went through to find an Omar El Abdelawi replacement until Rodinei came in, and we're still struggling at left back. So I think once again it is cover for the future and huge quality even for now. Everything as confusing as stuff is in the league, we can't write this team off for anything. The league form is, of course, a problem. The league form has been a problem since the beginning. And I'm not gonna sit here and act like everything's perfect, because it's not. The planning in the summer was still a clown show. It was an absolute clown show how everything went in the summer. But just like with basketball, who we'll talk about tomorrow after the Panathinaikos derby, it's too early to write stuff off. Criticism, I'll finish off with this and give my MVP, of course, because I didn't have time to make the ratings graph. Criticism is always okay, up to human levels. We are fans criticizing the team using common logic is um, is welcome, and it may even help the team grow. But again, demolition is a stupid mindset to have as a fan. And I will give a rant that I have every time that we come off a negative result. The things I see on Twitter are insane. The things some people write are insane. And I'll talk about this more on the basketball show, especially given what happens in the derby. Some things that are written are nuts. We need to take accountability for things we say. Please. And I hope they are. It's true that the Rangers game is a bit away, as I said earlier, with the cup being midweek. Hopefully, they're more focused in the league, and hopefully, we pick up the results that we need to pick up, especially against teams like Asteras and Panserikos, who we should be battering and get some confidence for the back-to-back derby coming up with Pauk and Ike. But yeah, that's about it for today from me. My MVP was easily Gelson Martins. I don't think there is even a doubt that he was the MVP of the game. And the healthy Gelson Martins is a luxury to have. It's it's an honor to have that guy play for us when he's healthy. Thank you all once again for watching this. Thank you all for putting up with my chaotic schedule. And again, check out everything in the description. Like, subscribe to the show, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you.